we made it to the featured project with this mutual betting platform. We finalized this project, but we are waiting for some funding. So I really hope things will improve in the future for developers, because I believe EOS is a very, very powerful tool, and we should really leverage on it, and we should get some funding floating for the developers. Then I always look also at other blockchains and try to learn from them, and I'd like to really see EOS in the right place. So far it has been very disappointing, but then in the last few months, I think last year mainly, very beautiful things are happening. So I'm quite optimistic we can make it. So
cool.
This is pretty much me. Yep.
Cool. So we're on a timeline. So let's go ahead and just jump into your presentation, Dan. I don't have anything. Javier, do you have a presentation or anything that you would like to present after?
Yeah, I would like some time to pitch an idea that I have. I don't have a PowerPoint, but I do have a lot of things I could show, things we've done, and some of the ideas that I have are already written out in a couple of places where I can show you guys.
Okay, Nicola, do you want to go by Nick or Nicola?
Nick is fine. Nick is fine. Okay. I understand it might not be easy to pronounce my name. Nick is totally cool.
Okay, do you have anything?
I don't have a presentation, guys. I don't have a presentation.
Okay. All right, no worries. All right, so Dan, you can go ahead and get started, and then do you want to do like maybe we can give it like a 10-minute Q&A after, and then Javier, you can present yours. We'll do a Q&A, and then we'll sort of maybe see how that works, or what do you guys propose?
That sounds good. Please, you go, Javier.
No, that sounds great. Thank you, Nathan, for helping out. I'm also wondering if Nicola, if you'd like to present an idea and also some Q&A time after.
Okay, not really, but let's see. I can discuss a little bit of what I've done and where I would like to see EOS in the future, but I don't have any really structure.
Yeah, I think all the time will be going to Dan and you, Javier.
Okay.
Nick said he already didn't have stuff, so.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, first off, if you'd like to go first, Javier, then you're welcome to. And then second off, I think it's probably good to just for each of us to announce our candidacy, whether we're running to be a candidate or just running to elect. I saw people do that a lot in the trial election, so I'm running as a candidate. I suppose Javier is too. I'm not sure if Nathan and Nick are, but it might be helpful to know that.
Depends on how good your idea is, man.
Okay, sounds good.
I would say just do your presentation. I'm not actually here for candidacy. If it happens, it happens, and it'd be fine, but I'm not going to push it. So I'd rather vote for one of you guys if I like your idea. So.
Yeah, myself also. I'm not really here for candidacy. Also, I've been very involved with development projects, so I'm more here, to understand what is going on and also to express my vote mainly.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Dan, I would say just go ahead with your presentation. You were the first to announce. So.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Okay, I'll share my screen right now. I'll host disabled participant screen sharing. Could you enable that, please?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I allowed local recording. Let me try and find. Sorry, hold on.
Okay, it's all good. Thank you.
It's actually not allowing me to do. Oh, here we go. Who can share? All participants. All right, try now.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you. Share screen, and now it seems like it's working. Okay, cool. So are you able to see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I'm Dan Singjoy. I'm also known as Dogman on Telegram groups. And this is my Eden profile. I'm a musician, creator, and entrepreneur working to make the best experiences possible. I'm founder of Dogman Labs, Eden Creators, EOS Sages, DAP Heroes, Eden Studios, and PlayTubers Global, which I'll talk about today. I first discovered EOS in 2018 before the mainnet launch, and I've been super excited and growing ever more excited about EOS ever since then. I've listened to podcasts about EOS and read Telegram groups and written about EOS for like thousands of hours, not like really. And I've been following everything about Eden from the start, and I've listened to every Eden trial election and everything I can find about Eden. I'm super passionate, inspired, and excited to help Eden and EOS grow. EOS is a super, super helpful community and tool, and I'm doing everything I can to help make the best experiences possible with Eden and EOS. Now I'm running as candidate in this election, and I'm running to raise funding and awareness for 3 communities that I'm forming: Eden Creators, EOS Sages, and DAP Heroes. I believe that these are the first Eden communities in the world after Eden OS. I'm proposing, or I will be proposing, weekly Creative Eden events with a new operating system that I'm calling Eden Creators OS, which is kind of like a modified version of Eden OS plus token holder voting. The code is complete and we're ready to start, and we're looking for Genesis members and funding. This is also the first time that I've ever shared these communities publicly for the most part, and I've been working constantly on these communities for the past few months, and they're finally ready to share. So in the coming days, I'll be sharing websites and written announcements for these communities. And there's a lot that I'm really excited to share, and I'm stoked to hear what everyone thinks. First, I'll introduce myself a bit more. And by the way, I was up super late last night until like 5 a.m. building this presentation because I've been so busy building these. So a lot of things that I want to do much better in future presentations, rehearsing it more, refining it more, and sleeping more, but I'll do my best for now, and I hope you'll see how these communities are super exciting. So this is top of my website, basic website, dansinger.com. You'll notice that the Eden profile is at the top because it's super important. And I'll share a bit about my experience as a creator and musician, which is giving me a unique perspective about EOS, and will integrate a lot with Eden Creators in the future. So I have a YouTube channel called Dance Party. I make videos and I live stream for thousands of hours, and I sing and I play instruments and I write songs and dance and play with tools, and I chat with people and learn in public, and generally aim to make the best experience possible and inspire people and laugh a lot. And I also make a lot of videos, like funny videos, educational videos, science videos, all kinds. In 2018, I founded an organization called PlayTubers Global with my buddies Cosmo the Creator and Bongo the Player, where we're building many creative projects, mostly in early stages. It's a cosmic creative hub, and working with about 15 PlayTubers partners. There's, for example, funny videos, and I'm using tools about tools and instruments about instruments, so all sorts of different topic videos. These will all integrate Eden Creators OS, and I'll share more details about this soon. In 2018, I also founded Dogman Labs, and Dogman started prowling the internet, learning about blockchain. And by the way, if there's anything that's not clear, feel free to interrupt. I'm trying to go quickly because I know we're on a time limit, but if you have any questions or anything. So here's a current basic website for Dogman Labs that will be updated soon. And on that website, you can see a lot of writing that I've done in conversations that I've shared so far with EOS community, generally intending to make the best experiences possible with EOS. I've had a lot of, I started becoming very active and vocal in EOS community since about mid-2020, and I've been very active in many communities since then, including DAP Network, DAP Account DAO, the former Everything EOS Group Consortium, and CTF. And we have some announcements from Cosmo the Creator. You might notice the shape of the soccer ball looks a little bit like the Eden logo. And so the first announcement is that we're launching Eden Creators, and we're looking for the most creative Eden enthusiasts to help lead the way. Eden Creators is a community of creative people working together to help everyone understand the benefits of EOS, increase independence, and create the best experience possible with creative Edens. Eden Creators is a new kind of creative co-op that aims to coordinate all kinds of creative work and fund creators to help accomplish these goals. So, for example, Eden Creators may coordinate songs about Eden and videos about Eden OS and visual art that inspires people to learn about fractal governance, and funny podcasts about Eden elections and Eden festivals and Eden communities. And speaking of more Eden communities, EOS Sages, we're forming the EOS Sages Eden, and we're looking for the wisest sages to light the way with cosmic wisdom. EOS Sages is a community working to help everybody understand the benefits of EOS, increase independence, and learn cosmic wisdom to make the best experience possible with EOS. Similar to Eden Creators, EOS Sages aims to coordinate all kinds of creative work and fund sages to accomplish these goals. Funding creative work like making social media campaigns about EOS to help everyone understand the importance of decentralization, and creating awe-inspiring audiovisual experience about EOS and so forth. And DAP Heroes performing the Eden for DAP Heroes, and we're looking for the most courageous heroes to lead our journey to cosmic triumph. So DAP Heroes is a community working to help everyone understand the benefits of DAP Network, increase independence, and learn cosmic superpowers to make the best experience possible with DAP. So DAP Heroes may coordinate all sorts of creative work and fund heroes to make like legendary superhero comics of building with DAP, and videos about how we can build a more resilient society with immortal DAPs on the DAP network. If anybody isn't familiar with DAP network, is a community and project building on EOS. And all three of these communities are working with the operating system I mentioned before, Eden Creators OS, which I'm calling ECOS for short, and we'll share more details soon. And there will be Genesis Creator, Sage, and Hero NFT collections from Eden Studios, which will be available soon. These NFT collections will include original music, visual art, artifacts, and stories I've been making for each of these communities, and hopefully that the community that joins will make with me in the future, and we'll have many exciting seasons of NFTs coming out soon. There's a lot more announcements coming out soon that I don't really have time to go into right now that I'll be sharing over the course of the next couple of weeks. One of them is Eden Creators Incubator, which will be working to build a lot of DAOs with Eden Creators for like fitness DAO and health DAO, reverse aging DAO, music DAO, all sorts of fun and hopeful stuff like that. And what's next is looking for Genesis members and funding for Eden Creators, EOS Sage, and DAP Heroes. All the required code is complete and we can start it right away, but we just need to be careful to form these communities with the most helpful community leaders to make the best experiences possible. And once Genesis communities are formed and keys are sufficiently decentralized, I'll share proposals to start weekly Creative Edens, token distributions, and governance systems for each of these communities. And if I'm elected, then I'll represent the community interests, work with integrity and transparency, and play an active leadership role in governance for the benefit of the EOS community. Funds will be distributed 50% to the Eden Creators, 20% to EOS Sages, 10% to DAP Heroes, and 20% to me to pay for expenses and to compensate my time in working on this. Then funds will be distributed to community members according to a predefined disbursement schedule. I'm planning to propose a 5% disbursement schedule or disbursement per week. And funds will be distributed according to token holder vote and weekly Eden results programmatically. And if proposals are passed as planned, then the Eden community and maybe Eden members will receive Creator and Sage and Hero tokens when it's technically feasible to do so. Thank you. Thank you for listening. I hope that made sense. I hope that provides a sufficient introduction for now. And I hope you'll all be excited as I am about Eden Creators, Sages, and Heroes. Please feel free to ask any questions. I'm looking forward to learning about you all and how you're planning to help Eden and EOS. And I'm looking forward to sharing much more soon and working with you all to make the best experience possible.
Cool. Thanks, Dan. So real quick before we get into questions and stuff, do we want to do questions now as it's fresh in our minds? That to me makes the most sense. Or do we want to wait so that, Javier, you can at least get your what you're going to present to us out of the way? How long do you think your presentation is going to take? Or I guess your communication.
Well, I don't really have a presentation. I just have an, that was a beautiful presentation, Dan. So I mean, let's go into questions now, and then I can kind of make sure I fit with whatever time we have left.
Okay, sounds good. Do you mind if I got a bunch of questions. Do you mind if I start?
Go ahead.
So Dan, question for you. That was great. Thanks. I'd like to know a little bit more about it though, but I'm actually more curious about you. How do you define the word integrity personally?
Oh, I'll first say I just added that in there like 10 minutes before because I heard Dan Larimer talking, and I thought that was really great because I've just been building this last minute. So I haven't really thought about it deeply in the sense of, or in the context of this presentation. But yeah, I suppose it's integrity. I would be interested to look at the definition and spend some time like pondering and really thinking about it. But off the top of my head, I think it's working for, working with truth and working, doing what you say you're going to do, working, being authentic, I'm kind of scrambling for words here. I mean, I'm kind of centering around it, but yeah, it's doing like, So I'll put it in my own personal terms, like my goal is to make the best experience as possible. And so by acting with integrity, it'll be everything that I'm doing is acting in accordance with that goal, and also in accordance with the goals of the community. Because to be making the best experience possible with Eden and EOS, we have to do it as community effort. So it's respecting and living up to what the community wants and what we agree and so forth.
Cool. So when you say like you'll be working with integrity and transparency, like what do you, either from an example in your past or going forward in these projects, how will you, if elected, act in integrity and transparency? I guess more of the transparency, because you kind of answered that by your definition, right?
Okay, right, yeah. Well, transparency and also integrity. I suppose there's a lot of things in the past. I feel like everything I've done, I've always done with integrity and transparency. I'm always like very honest and always working to help and so forth. And then in the future with these projects and just general with my participation in life and the Eden and EOS communities. So for one thing specifically with these projects, the funding will all be on chain, and it won't be something that I'm handling like personally or not more than I need to. So all the funding will be sent to MSIGs when it's feasible to do so. And once the communities are formed, they'll be sent to MSIGs. I've also been thinking I could do MSIGs with DAOs before then too, if I receive funding, to make it more transparent and more trustless and so forth. And then also the thing I'm talking about with weekly Creative Edens, basically I'm proposing that we're going to be doing Eden's like shows, kind of almost like a weekly podcast, but as an Eden with where people can earn tokens and vote for each other and so forth, but like a shortened style every week. So I'll be on camera and talking with the community and so forth, and being transparent about what everything's going on. All the accounting for the communities will be transparent on blockchain. And then also one other thing I was going to say is, oh yeah, I'm also planning to open source like pretty much all my notes about how it works too. So I'll just be sharing everything, most things transparently.
Okay. Like personally though, how would you be transparent about maybe a mistake? Would you tell about how you made the mistake on the show and how you're, what you learned from it and all that stuff, or would
Yeah,
personal mistakes be not something that's part of the transparency?
it would be. I mean, there's sometimes that it doesn't help to bring attention to the mistakes, and it's helpful to just focus on the task at hand. And so it's also, you don't want to like be, overly transparent about mistakes to the point that you're, I don't know, dwelling in them and so forth. But generally speaking, if I make a mistake, or not even generally speaking, but if I make a mistake and it should be shared with the community, then I'll share with the community. I won't hide with anything. And I think it's also a great opportunity for everybody to learn and grow more. Like one person's mistake can turn into that same person can learn from that mistake, and then also help other people learn from that mistake as well. So it can be very helpful to be transparent and open about it, so we can all learn better and improve and grow together better.
Cool. All right, last question for me. Sorry I'm taking up a lot of time, guys, but what's the impact on the non-blockchain world that you want to make? How do you want EOS to impact the world itself?
So I say making the best experience possible. That's like my life goal. And I think that we can do that really well, have a really big impact, making like amazing experiences, fixing all of our problems, infinite variety of like cool, fun experiences. So basically all these communities that I'm building here with creators and sages and heroes, and then all these things that I have plans for that I'll be open sourcing notes for like, fitness DAO and health DAO and nutrition DAO. And there's like 140 different DAOs that I wrote out that I'm planning to share, and kind of ideas about like just basically how we can transcend like our little community of EOS and Eden. That's been a great community, but small as we're building. And now I think the tools are ready to build these communities and unlock the access for anybody to build it, just like I'm launching these communities, so that we can, for each problem that we have, we can make a community around it and incentivize, figure out ways to put in systems that incentivize people to fix those problems and make awesome solutions, like curing a disease or making awesome music and so forth. So all these things that we want can be really helpful, and we can do it with Eden and EOS.
Cool, thanks. That's it for me.
You're welcome. And thank you, Nathan. I appreciate the questions.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think that we have a lot of developers and definitely a shortage of creativity in these blockchain communities, and it's just as important to have creative input in the community. So I really appreciate like your project, and I think that it's very necessary to also have like content and creativity. I'm a developer, and I've been working on the tech side. And that's kind of what I bring to the table, and that's what my pitch is around. But definitely see where this can help. I do have a question on the code, though. You said it's code ready. Like, can we look at it? Who built it? And if it's based on Eden OS? The Eden OS, the Clarion OS team is pretty tech savvy, and they're not using like the contract development toolkit that comes native with EOS.io. They're using their own compiler. So we recently integrated some code with Eden, and so that we can read Eden memberships. And I'm curious how is this code ready? How was it built? Can I look at it? Where is this code, and who made it?
Okay, cool. And first of all, just say too, thank you for all your technical development with EOS Costa Rica. I've been following that tool that you built to work with like the RAM tables and so forth for the Eden members. If that's what you're referring to. What's that? Oh, well, I heard about it. Like Chris Barnes mentioned on a podcast like a couple weeks ago, and I've been sharing it with Vlad. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Consortium. I've been working with the Consortium team, so yeah, to answer your question, the code.
Keep it short, by the way. We're 12 minutes.
Oh, okay, sure. Thank you, Nathan. Yeah, so the code being ready, mostly we don't need code on the blockchain to start. And just like how Eden started without being on the blockchain, and the Eden OS Clarion team built the blockchain tools as we went along. All the code that we need to start these Eden creators communities, we can do first off, just like kind of a lower tech version with Excel spreadsheets and pinning Excel spreadsheets to IPFS. And we're going to have a community and like incentive systems built up so that everybody can agree on a common spreadsheet, where even if it's not on chain in the first part, it's all on chain via snapshots on IPFS, so we can all see how it works. And then over time, or in the beginning, depending on how development goes, then we can integrate some pre-built tools and code. So I'm not actually building the code. I'm just kind of like designing it and working on it and sharing how it can work. And so we can start out with that manual solution if need be. And then we can integrate the Eden OS code, which the Clarion team has been building a lot. And I believe it's all open source, and they have a very open copyright non-policy to just do it for the benefit of humanity, something like that. And then two, I mentioned I've been working with the Consortium team. They're also building CTF, which includes a general purpose voting tool, where basically allows you to, it allows community members to spread out votes to different options. So say, for example, if we have a community with 20 people in there, and then like, say we're all in Eden creators, and then Nathan does a great job, then I can vote for 25% of my votes for Nathan, and 10% of my votes for Nick, or 30% of my votes for Nick, and 20 or 30 or whatever votes for, I'm sorry, yeah, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. I'm not sure if you said Xavier or Javier.
Javier.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Javier. Yeah, and so that code is already built largely for CTF as well. And I've been in communication with the team from there, and they also said that they're interested in building it for Eden creators and building the interface and so forth. So we have lots of tools, code that's already been developed that we can apply. And in the meantime, we can start with just basic solutions with like IPFS and so forth. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Now, if you do have an IPFS hash, you want to store that somehow on the blockchain, right? So you can actually have you might have an Excel sheet that points to IPFS, but you might want to persist that on a blockchain to make it really immutable and
yeah,
the IPFS hash. Okay. I don't want to take up more time, but that answers my question. And I don't know how much time we have, but I would like to pitch my
Less than
idea.
10 minutes. Go ahead, Javier.
It's 9 minutes
Yeah,
long.
okay. So I'm just gonna rush through this, and thank you guys for the time. I don't have such a beautiful presentation, but I'd like to tell you a bit about what we're doing. So EOS Costa Rica started in 2018 as a Genesis block producer. We're currently 14 people on our team, mostly developers. And we won a hackathon where we won a $100,000 prize a couple of years ago. It was the Coding for Change hackathon. It was we made a DApp that allows people to incentivize blood donations. Anyway, we reinvested the $100,000 prize into an internship program. So we partnered with Costa Rica's National Technical University and ran 3 semesters of internships for a total of 6 students over a period of 3 semesters. We've got all their names: Justin, Jan, Angelo, Stephanie, Edgar, and Lacer. They all completed their internships with us. 2 interns remain with us, and we worked on creating a bunch of developer guidelines and educational material to get people to learn about EOS.io and how to build on EOS.io. So I'm going to share my screen real quick, just so we can see some of the open source contributing guidelines and the kind of all the documentation we put together, along with the program for how the internship would work. So one of the things we're really proud of is how do you learn EOS.io, right? We came up with a program to teach people EOS.io. And what we'd like to do is basically have Eden sponsor more internships, because we would like to be able to provide technical resources to projects like yours, so that we can train them in a 6-month program, and basically then allow build talent for EOS, a talent pool of EOS developers, attract new developers, new blood, and supply qualified dev teams to work on other Eden members' projects, and create developer training resources, and provide opportunities for aspiring students who want to learn about blockchain. I think there's a huge opportunity for professional career paths in blockchain. And some of the best interns that we work with are from rural areas of Costa Rica, and they're super excited to work on this technology. And LACID recently published yesterday a really interesting Medium article: how do we optimize RAM consumption on EOS RAID? And I'm really proud of this, because I'm like, okay, how far has he come since we first got him on the internship program to going really low level, deep into the C++, optimizations around RAM. And also he worked together with a Clarion team to be able to read the Eden members table from the Eden smart contracts, so that we can integrate other apps with Eden membership. So if you're an Eden member and you go to our app, you unlock certain features. And it's not as trivial as you think, because yes, it is open source, it is built for the world, and it is out there, but it's hard to interpret. So we want to be able to kind of minimize that learning curve and be able to select qualified interns and say, okay, these people are ready to join other projects. And we have a pool of developers, so we can have a ton of great ideas, but we need teams who can implement them and build them. So even if we have the funds, we need people who know how to build on EOS. And this is what I'd like to help out with. So my 3 years of experience with EOS.io, now I feel like, I really want to be like that mentor for new students. Obviously, we work with local schools in Costa Rica, but this could be something international and global. We also worked on we won a second place on a hackathon with the interns. With the last hackathon, I believe Nicola also participated in it. We did an NFT for good, kind of charitable donations. Where the NFTs are for charity, basically. And sorry, I'm rushing through this, so I might be skipping a lot of stuff. But I did make a post on the EOS community forums where I'm talking about Eden-sponsored internships and kind of why I think it's a good idea. And I'm still writing some more content around this. I have to dedicate more time on it, but there is more details on my thoughts around this on the Eden community forum. And I just wanted to throw this idea out there that if I do make it to the next round, I will sponsor one intern, and that intern can be then used for an Eden project, right? So I would basically mentor this person for a period of, they have an internship as their program graduation is about 6 months. After that, they'd be ready to just work on any project, and basically be able to distill talent and be able to provide that to the Eden community so that we can fund and build all these ideas that are coming up. So that's basically it. And there's a few ideas about how payments can be made, and I don't necessarily have to manage the money. I can just teach them, and these are paid internships, right? I don't know if other blockchains are doing paid internships, but it might be the first time that a blockchain is actually doing paid internships.
And
So
you would use the funds to pay that?
I would use funds to cover the monthly payment that the interns are recommended. It's not very much. It's their first job. The university recommends that it's a paid internship, and there's competition as other offers are paying them. It's around $1,000 a month, right, for an intern.
Okay.
So that's basically, I'm saying if I make it to the next round, I will get an intern, and I'll make sure we can follow that process. If we make it to the next round, we can get more interns, and I would also like to see if we can complement other projects and other ideas. Like, okay, you have this idea, I can provide the dev team, you go, we build your idea, we can actually execute it.
What other income streams do you have that wouldn't need EOS funds to be able to?
Well, we're currently a paid block producer, and one of the wonderful things about EOS Costa Rica is that we don't pay voter rewards. We never wanted to pay voter rewards. We never did it. We were offered 1 million times, hey, we'll vote for you if you give us a kickback. Never did it. Block One votes for us, and we got voted in after 3 years, no rewards, but we never paid rewards. What are we doing with that money? We're putting it back into EOS. We're not going to give it away for voter rewards. We're going to reinvest it. We're going to see that actually turn into tangible results. So, I mean, one of the things that's more painful to me is these sock puppet BPs grabbing inflation and taking it away and not giving anything in return, not even running infrastructure. So what's our philosophy is we're not paying rewards. We're going to also have these other streams of income to fund these things.
But does that mean that you would also supplement not using the community funds and instead supplement with part of the community funds?
Well, yes, we would supplement what's required, because we would definitely, we are already doing this. Like, we have interns working on EOS Rate currently, which is something we're using to rate block producers. Not sure if you're familiar with this tool, but this is what interns are currently working on right now.
So you're saying this intern would be specific to Eden community related project or projects?
Yeah, so Eden would fund a training program for developers for Eden projects. So it's kind of like we would create a talent pool to build Eden projects.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
And how would you choose the interns? So you have different interns. How do you pick the right candidate?
Right. So we have a pre internship program where we say, if you're interested, come join our pre-internship program. And we already have on our GitHub the developer. Sorry guys, I'm not I don't have everything on hand, but our developer guidelines, we've already got a program set up. So it's called the pre-practica in Spanish, but basically it's a pre-internship, and we're gonna go through like Markdown syntax, GitHub workflow, agile methodologies, some UI UX sessions, front end, back end, DevOps, and EOS.io training with them. And then after that, we will know whether we would select them or not for the internship program.
We got about 30 seconds, guys. So Javier, I appreciate it. If we want to ping you with some questions about things, because we still have 10 minutes after to make the actual votes. So feel free to ping people like directly in Telegram, I would say, with questions. Anybody want to say anything before we close? We got 10 seconds.
I was going to say that all that stuff sounds awesome, Javier, and I really appreciate you building that. That sounds really awesome about helping people build with Eden. That's super helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Time's up, guys. Very good job, both of you. I really appreciate both presentation.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, fellas. Good meeting you. Appreciate the time.
Good meeting you too. So do we just vote
Make sure to vote on the UI.
Okay, cool. Well, should we, and so we're able to vote until 10 a.m. Is that right? But we don't have to announce our votes on the video. Is that it?
Correct. Yeah, I would say that we just end the video and everyone sort of thinks about, and then you just vote in the UI.
should we figure it out while we're on video just to make sure that we have consensus? I mean, it's better that one of us goes through in case it is split consensus, I think.
Yeah. Works for me.
So we're staying on the video for a bit longer?
Yeah, Zoom gave us an extra 40 minutes, so we can.
Yeah, I think the only reason why they did 40 minutes rather than 50 minutes was just because the Zoom only had 40 minutes for, most people. So I suppose we can finish it out on Zoom as well, since we have the extra 40 minutes.
So, all right, let's try voting, make sure it works. All right, voting works. Javier, I'm gonna end up voting for you. No offense, Stan. I think that I'm more aligned with what Javier's ending up trying to achieve.
I can vote for myself. Is that how is
You
that?
you actually have to. It's your confirmation that you want to be a delegate.
Okay. I really appreciate all the work that goes into the Eden community, and I feel like I could have been a bit more prepared for this and had a bit more. But I've been working for the last 3 years with EOSIO, so I've been preparing. But for this particular presentation, I'm sorry I wasn't so organized.
Hey Nick,
So
did you figure out how to vote?
Yes. I will. Yeah, I will vote for Xavier as well. No offense, Danny. I really like your presentation and idea as well. But I've used a lot of documentation from EOS Costa Rica, and I really like the way they want to, let's say, increase the development community in the future. So I will vote Xavier as well.
Well, guys, this means we're getting an intern, right? And Dan, if I go to the next election, I think that means there's funds, right? So that means we're getting an intern, and I'd like you guys to follow up with who this person's gonna be, how we can use them in the EOS community. If you guys have ideas, then they're there to empower your ideas, right? So I want us to stay in touch and follow up on who is this person, and how would they best fit into our community, and how can we best utilize them, right? So I think, Dan, maybe this would be something that can help you with your idea as well. So
yeah, absolutely. I definitely think it's a great idea to keep in touch. It's been great meeting you, and I very much look forward to working together in the future. And also, I think it's awesome that you'll be able to hire the intern, and they can help build Eden, and help build EOSIO, and help with everything awesome that EOS Costa Rica is doing. And yeah, for the projects I'm building, very closely aligned with Eden and EOSIO. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of synergies and stuff. So yeah, I think it's awesome, and I really appreciate your presentation and everything you're doing. So thank you.
guys.
And thanks everybody too for participating in Eden too. This is pretty awesome. First ever Eden election official and stuff.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I think you both did a very good job. I wasn't expecting this level, so I'm really excited about this new setup.
Yeah, super exciting. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what everybody builds, or there's, I don't know, it's gonna be like 40 rounds, something like that. So there's gonna be a lot of really great stuff, I bet.
Yes.
And Nathan, thank you for being the moderator here. You ran the show here. Were you pre-qualified for this? I mean, you're definitely the right man for this. So thank you for.
Yeah, I'm old. I used to work for Block One. I have been involved with Clarion and Mike and Brandon and all of them for a very, very long time. So I have a little bit of insider knowledge that helps. So
Awesome. Just by the way, I'm having an error. I'm trying to vote for Javier, and when I vote, I don't know if you guys know or have experienced this, but I vote and then I get an Anchor sign request error, Ledger unknown error. I'm using Ledger, transport status error message. Do you guys know anything I should do, like log out or log back in, or is this common?
You can
Could it be
try.
that we already reached consensus because
Yeah, well,
Then
you,
three out of-
yeah, you already have 3, so you don't need it, but I guess just for future, it might be helpful to know, but,
Yeah, try re-logging back in. There was some communication in the dev channel about some errors, and I did see them say to relog. But another thing to do is, you know, like Nick said, we have consensus, but your vote should matter, and this shouldn't be a problem. So make sure to collect like screenshots before you close anything, and report it to the team
Okay.
afterward.
okay, well, I'll do that if it doesn't go through now, because I already did just restart it, so hopefully it goes through.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, and also just before I interrupted you with that, it seems like it's working now. But I agree. Thank you, Nathan, for kind of hosting or asking a bunch of questions. Thanks, Nick, for also great input. And also I've been following Bet now a little bit, and I don't know much about it, but it seems really cool. And also, Nathan, I didn't know that you work with the Clarent team. So yeah, thanks
I'm
for
not.
participating.
I'm just like
Or
a.
just
I'm
like close
just
with
a
them, I
friend.
guess. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a friend. I wasn't hired directly, so.
Right. Okay. Cool. Well, that's all good, and that's awesome. It's also awesome to meet everybody here too.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Ditto. All right.
guys, we're a great community. Yes. Very nice to see this type of things.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be very exciting going forward.
Cool.
Also,
Good
we're
luck with the
connected
next
from
round,
everywhere.
Javier.
I'm sorry?
We're connected from everywhere in the world. I think this
I
is very,
know.
very powerful movement.
And-
I'm very excited.
I love it. And we went we did our morning mountain bike ride, and now we're doing this, and you know, in different parts of the world. So very similar thought.
Good luck
In the next election, I might have to go for a bike ride before I, or a mountain bike ride before I go. That seems like a good. That seems like a good way to start it.
Javier, good luck in the next rounds.
Yeah, good luck.
All right.
Good luck to all of you as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
All
See
right,
you, everybody.
guys.
Thanks again. Bye.
Thanks.